All right, so today we're going to dive deep into this, it's this whole world of heavy oil and a potential game changer. They're calling it ZMQ1. You see, the world relies on turning this thick, gloppy crude oil into usable fuel, but it's a really messy and inefficient process, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Traditional methods just have their limitations.
Yeah.
And that's really where this new material, this ZMQ1, it really steps into the spotlight here.
Okay, so before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break it down. What exactly is ZMQ1 and why should we be excited about it?
Well, ZMQ1 is a new type of zeolite, which is a family of crystalline materials. And they're known for their use as catalysts. You can think of them as tiny molecular sieves with a very specific structure that can actually facilitate chemical reactions.
So how does ZMQ1 differ from the zeolites that we already use? I mean, what makes it so special?
It's all about the pores. You see, traditional zeolites have these small pores, which are great for, small molecules. But when you have those large, complex molecules in heavy oil, they just can't squeeze through. It's like trying to fit a watermelon through a keyhole.
Ah, okay, I see the problem. So how does ZMQ1 solve this watermelon keyhole dilemma?
Well, ZMQ1 has what's called a meso-microporous channel system. So imagine a sorting facility where packages of all different sizes are automatically directed to the right conveyor belt, ensuring, smooth and efficient processing. So that's what ZMQ1 does at the molecular level, allowing both small and large molecules to kind of flow through smoothly.
So it's like having multiple lanes on a highway. You got some for those big rigs and others for smaller vehicles, just making sure everything moves smoothly.
Exactly. And this unique structure makes ZMQ1 highly efficient in a process called catalytic cracking, which is essential for breaking down those heavy oil molecules into usable fuels like gasoline and diesel.
Okay, catalytic cracking, big words, but can you break it down for us? What's happening here at the molecular level?
Think of it like this. You have these large, complex molecules, kind of like Legos all clumped together, right? So catalytic cracking, and this is facilitated by ZMQ1.
Right.
It breaks those bonds, essentially snapping apart those Legos into smaller, more manageable pieces that could be used as fuel.
So ZMQ1 is like a master Lego separator, taking those complex structures and efficiently breaking them down into the usable parts.
Yeah, you got it. And here's where things get really interesting. Not only does ZMQ1 perform this cracking process efficiently, but it also produces significantly less coke, which is a byproduct that really clogs up those traditional refining processes.
Less coke, that's a good thing, right?
Definitely, yeah. Less coke means a cleaner, more efficient process, and that translates to lower costs and a reduced environmental footprint.
Okay, so we have an efficient, cleaner process. What kind of results are we talking about here? How much better is ZMQ1 compared to what you currently use?
Well, in their tests, ZMQ1 achieved an impressive 80% fuel selectivity.
Now, I'm sure that number means a lot to scientists, but what does that 80% translate to in the real world?
Well, it means that 80% of that heavy oil was successfully converted into usable gasoline and diesel. And to put that in perspective, traditional methods often struggle to achieve such high yields, so that results in more waste and lower efficiency.
Wow, so potentially less crude oil needed to produce the same amount of fuel. That could have a major impact on global oil markets, couldn't it?
Absolutely. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
ZMQ1's potential applications, they extend far beyond just fuel production.
Hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll dive into those potential applications a bit later, but for now, I want to understand more about how they even created this ZMQ1 wonder material. I mean, building something that operates at the molecular level. That must have been quite a challenge, right?
Oh, yeah. It definitely wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Creating ZMQ1, synthesizing these stable mesoporous zeolites. That's long been a challenge in material science.
So what was the key to their success? I mean, what did they do differently with ZMQ1?
Well, the breakthrough came with using a special phosphonium-based organic template during that synthesis process. And this template, it acts like a mold, It guides the formation of all those interconnected channels while ensuring the stability of that overall structure.
So it's like having a blueprint. That not only dictates the shape, but also reinforces the strength of the building.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And it's this combination of structure and stability that makes ZMQ1 so unique and so effective.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but let's shift gears for a moment. You mentioned that ZMQ1 has potential applications beyond fuel production. What other areas could benefit from this technology?
Well, zeolites in general, they're incredibly versatile materials. I mean, they're already used in everything from water purification to drug delivery, and with its enhanced stability and efficiency, ZMQ1 it could really open up even more possibilities.
Okay, so give us some examples. What specific applications are we talking about here?
Well, one area is carbon capture. ZMQ1's unique pore structure. You could use that to trap carbon dioxide from industrial emissions, which helps to mitigate climate change.
So ZMQ1 could play a role in cleaning up our air. That's amazing. What else?
Another promising area is in the production of biofuels. ZMQ1 could be used to break down plant-based materials, like cellulose, into usable fuels, which paves the way for a more sustainable energy future.
It sounds like ZMQ1 is a bit of a Swiss Army knife. In the world of material science, so many potential applications across all these various fields.
Precisely, yeah. And as research continues, I'm sure we'll uncover even more ways to utilize this remarkable material.
Now, while we've been focusing on the positive here, I think it's important to acknowledge that any new technology comes with potential challenges as well. What are some of the hurdles that researchers might face as they try to bring ZMQ1 from the lab to the real world?
Well, you're right. It's not all smooth sailings. One challenge is scalability. So producing ZMQ1 in large quantities while maintaining its quality and consistency, that'll be crucial for, widespread adoption.
So it's one thing to make it in a lab, but it's quite another to manufacture it on an industrial scale. What other challenges do you foresee?
Well, cost is always a factor. While ZMQ1 has the potential to be cost-effective in the long run, that initial investment for large-scale production, that could be significant.
So it's a balancing act between short-term costs and long-term benefits. What about any potential environmental concerns? We've talked about the positives, but are there any downsides to consider?
That's a great point. While ZMQ1 itself is considered environmentally friendly, the processes it's used in, like oil refining, those still have environmental impacts.
So it's not a silver bullet solution to all our environmental problems, but it could be a valuable tool in our efforts to transition to a more sustainable future.
Exactly. And that's what makes this discovery so exciting. It's not just about ZMQ1 itself. It's about the possibilities it unlocks for a cleaner, more efficient future.
Speaking of possibilities, I'm curious about the research behind ZMQ1. Who are the brilliant minds behind this breakthrough?
Well, the research team. It's a global collaboration involving scientists from China, France, Sweden, and the China University of Petroleum.
That's fantastic. It's a testament to the power of international cooperation in scientific advancement. Now, for our listeners who might be thinking, okay, this is all very interesting, but how does this impact ME? Let's bring this back to everyday life. What could the discovery of ZMQ1 mean for the average person? That's the key question, right? How will this amazing material, with all its potential, actually touch our lives?
Well, if ZMQ1 lives up to its promise, it could lead to some very tangible benefits. For starters, more efficient oil refining. That could translate to lower fuel prices at the pump.
So a potential win for our wallets. That's something everyone can get behind.
Exactly. And beyond that, cleaner fuel production. That means fewer harmful emissions, which leads to improved air quality and a healthier environment for all of us.
Those are some pretty compelling benefits. But it's important to remember that ZMQ1, it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. The transition to a truly sustainable future, that's going to require a multifaceted approach with advancements in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and, responsible consumption, all playing a crucial role.
So ZMQ1 isn't a magic bullet, but it could be a really powerful tool in our arsenal as we navigate these complex challenges of energy and sustainability.
Precisely. And it really highlights the incredible power of scientific innovation to create solutions for a better tomorrow.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier, the international collaboration behind ZMQ1. I think it's a powerful reminder that progress often comes from working together, sharing knowledge, and pooling resources.
Absolutely. Science knows no borders. And this discovery is a testament to what can be achieved when brilliant minds from around the world join forces.
It's a truly inspiring example of global cooperation, leading to these breakthroughs that benefit all of humanity. So as we conclude our deep dive into the world of ZMQ1, I want to leave our listeners with a sense of optimism and excitement for the future.
Yeah, I agree. While challenges definitely lie ahead, discoveries like ZMQ1, they really demonstrate that we have the ingenuity and the collaborative spirit to create a more sustainable and prosperous future for generations to come.
And that's what the deep dive is all about, exploring these groundbreaking discoveries and understanding their potential to shape our world. So stay curious, stay engaged, and keep exploring this fascinating world of science and innovation. Until next time, keep diving deep.